Okay, let's jump right in. Today we're tackling a topic that, well, most businesses probably dread: product returns.
Yeah, especially in e-commerce. It feels like a necessary evil, maybe.
Definitely. And the scale is just mind-boggling. We're looking at retailers expecting nearly $900 billion worth of stuff coming back this year.
Wow. $900 billion.
And the whole system for handling that, reverse logistics, getting goods back up the chain, some analysts think that global market could hit over $1 trillion pretty soon.
There's just an incredible amount of product and money flowing the wrong way, so to speak. Seems like a huge cost center.
It really does. Just a massive headache, a drain. But here's the interesting pivot we found in the research.
Ah,
It's this idea that returns management isn't just a cost, it's actually being looked at as like a strategic battleground, a real growth opportunity.
right. Which is fascinating because if you can flip that perspective,
Yeah.
if you treat returns as more than just a problem to solve.
You unlock other things.
Exactly. You can potentially find better margins, build, much stronger customer loyalty, get really sharp insights about your actual products.
And even improve your sustainability credentials.
Yeah, that too. So the big question is, how do businesses actually do that? How do they make that mental shift?
So, yeah, how do you start seeing opportunity instead of just cost?
Well, the first thing seems to be acknowledging that every single return is basically feedback.
It's a signal. It reflects something that went wrong before it was sent back.
Right. Like, was the sizing chart off on the website?
Or did the color look totally different online? Maybe shipping took so long the customer bought it somewhere else in the meantime.
With e-commerce return rates hitting, what, sometimes 20, even 30% for some categories?
You can't just ignore it or only try to stop returns. You absolutely have to dig into the why, use the data.
So tracking things like how many people search for the size guide or reading reviews where people complain the color is off. Those are what the source is called expectation gaps. And it's not just the returns you get. What about the unhappy people who don't return? They just disappear.
The silent zero return group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lost data unless you're actively looking.
Exactly. You need good systems. Capture those reason codes, maybe even get photos from customers. All that SKU data, the product's unique code tied to why it came back.
That feeds intelligence back to other teams, right? Merchandising, product development, QC.
Precisely. So they can fix the descriptions, improve the product, and hopefully lower future returns. Even understanding patterns like bracketing.
That's buying multiple sizes, planning to return some.
Yeah. Or wardrobing, wearing something once and sending it back. Tracking those patterns gives you insights too, even if they're tricky behaviors.
And managing all this effectively really needs the right tech, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Technology is key. You need stuff that makes it easy for the customer, but also efficient behind the scenes.
Like a self-service online portal for returns, so you don't have to call anyone.
Right. Cuts down on those "where's my refund" calls. Or a good RMA engine, return merchandise authorization. Basically, software that automatically applies your return rules.
Which leads to another point: segmented policies. The idea that one size fits all returns, it just doesn't really work anymore.
No, definitely not. You might want to treat your best, most loyal customers differently.
Mm.
Maybe offer faster refunds or more lenient terms compared to someone who seems to be, constantly wardrobing. It's about managing risk, but also rewarding good customers.
And this connects strongly to sustainability, too. All those packages going back and forth create waste, emissions.
Huge environmental footprint. So strategies like consolidating returns at drop-off points, looking into re-commerce that's reselling returned items.
Giving them a second life.
Exactly. Or using smarter shipping to find the greenest return route. These things matter to customers now, and they build brand value.
So to know if any of this is actually working, turning returns into that growth engine, you need to measure it. The research talked about the 5R KPIs.
All right, key metrics. You've got the basic return rate, sure, but also recovery rate, how much value you get back from returned goods, then repair cost, recycle yield, and replacement cycle time, how fast you get a replacement out.
Tracking those shows where you're making progress or where the process is still bleeding money. And in the end, it really does circle back to you, the customer. The sources were super clear on this. Your experience returning something massively impacts if you'll buy from that company again.
Totally. A bad return process can just wipe out any goodwill from the purchase itself.
Yeah.
Instantly.
It feels like returns are becoming like the new frontier for keeping customers happy and loyal.
It really is. If you master it, it creates this positive feedback loop. Fewer bad returns means lower costs, the data makes products better, efficient systems boost margins, and that smooth, maybe even sustainable return experience builds trust.
And keeps people coming back. So here's something to think about. Considering how important that return experience is for loyalty, think about your last online return. What did that whole process tell you about the company? And honestly, how did it make you feel about shopping with them again?